1, 2, 3.
Good
Good morning, teacher, and teacher.
Good morning, students. Welcome back to another beautiful day of teaching and a beautiful day to learn some English. Let's give teacher quickly an opportunity to do a short warm-up with us. Please remember to turn on your cameras.
Okay. Please show your hand, two hands. Gonna do close your hand and then open your hands. Gonna switch. Okay. Are you ready? Yes.
Yes.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Thank you. Good job, everyone.
Very good, excellent. Okay, so today we'll start with something new in English class. We have a new chapter we're going to start with. We finished off with prepositions last time, and now we're going to look at comparatives. Now, comparatives means to compare. So if I want to compare two things, I can compare maybe a calculator and a cell phone and see where they are different. So the same we can do in the English language, where we use adjectives which describes a noun and we compare them with each other. So let's have a look at what we're going to do. So firstly, I want to read this quick story just to start off this unit. And let's see what do they tell us here. So I'm JJ. I love animals. I have a lot of pets. This is my rabbit Suki. She's 7. For a rabbit, that's old. This is my dog Zip. Actually, he's only a puppy. He's bigger than Suki, but he's younger, meaning he's not that old yet. And this is the oldest pet, Coco. She's 14 years old now. She was born before me. It was easy to take care of Suki. It's more difficult to take care of Zip. Suki never makes a sound, but Zip always barks. Be quiet, Zip. I take Zip for a walk every day. We usually go after school. Zip needs a bath, Mom says. Zip hates to take a bath. First, I have to brush him. Next, I use warm water and shampoo. Last, I dry Zip with a towel and give him a biscuit. The biscuit is my favorite part, Zip says. Okay, so just a short story. In this story, there is a lot of comparative adjectives. Now, let's first look at what comparative adjectives are before we look back at the story and try and find them. So first thing today is our grammar rule for the day is comparative adjectives. Okay, so these are used to compare two things. Let's first look at an example to understand a little bit more. So he's bigger than Suki, but Suki is younger. Oh, he's younger. So bigger and younger are both comparisons. Or it's more difficult to take care of Zip. So more difficult is also a comparative adjective. But firstly, let's quickly refresh our minds in what is an adjective. So an adjective is something that describes a noun. Now, a noun is a place, a thing, or a person. Remember that. A noun is a place, a thing, or a person. So this is a book. The word book is a noun. This is also a book. Can you compare these two books? You can say, yes, this book is bigger than this one. And this book is smaller than this one. So we can compare. Now, once we describe a noun, for instance, this is a big book. Our noun is book. And our adjective is big, because it explains the noun. So let's look here. When we talk about information, we usually use big, tall, or young. When we want to express an opinion, we use beautiful, expensive, delicious. And when we talk about a feeling, we can say we're either happy, tired, hungry. So those are the difference we use, how we use these adjectives. But it's also important to understand how and why we use them in a certain way. So this is very important. You will also find this information in your book over here on page 61. I just don't like the way the information is here. It can make us very confused because it's not in a nice block. So I used this block and I added the information to explain to you a little bit easier. So in English, we have syllables. Who knows what is a syllable? Who can tell me? Who knows what is a syllable? Anyone? If we compare it to the Thai language, English has syllables and word stress, and the Thai language has tones. So that is the differences, where in Thai language we use certain tones to say a word in a certain way. In English we use syllables and word stress. So firstly, let's quickly look at syllables. Here we have a couple of words. First word is short. Then we have noisy, and we have expensive. So when we talk about syllables, it means we can break up the words into sounds that is made. So the first word, short, only has one syllable, short. That's it. But if we look at the next one, noisy, noisy has two syllables, noisy. So it has two different syllables. And for the last one, expensive, it has three syllables, expensive. So that's how we need to think about these words when we want to use the proper form. Okay. If you are getting confused or I'm moving too fast, please tell me to stop or to repeat again. Okay. You are allowed to tell me that, teacher, you are too fast, or teacher, can you please repeat? Don't be shy. You can always ask me, because I'm here to help you guys to learn. So if I'm doing it not in a way that you are learning, please stop me. I will repeat. Okay. So when we look at the form, these are rules we have to study and we have to remember them. If a word has one syllable, like the word short, when we use the comparative adjective form, we have to take the adjective plus er. So short becomes shorter. Big becomes bigger. But for big, we have a different rule. If we have a consonant followed by a vowel, followed by a consonant, we have to add another consonant here at the end. So it's going to be big, G-E-R, bigger. Okay. So if it has a consonant, vowel consonant, we add the last consonant again plus ER. Now don't worry too much about it. We will practice and then you will see. So then the next one is words that have two syllables, like hungry, noisy, messy, ugly. Those are two syllable words. But the one important rule here, if the word ends with a Y, if the word ends with a Y, we take away the Y, ting, ting, we cancel the Y, and we put an I. So we change the Y to an I. So noisy becomes noisy. You see the I here. And we add ER like we do at the top one. If we have hungry, we take the Y away and we go to hungry. You see they have an I plus a ER. So that it becomes hungrier, noisier, busier, uglier. So very important rules. These rules will only get remembered in our brain if we practice them. Okay. And then the last rule when it comes to comparative adjectives are, if a word has two or more syllables, but it does not end on a Y, we use more. Before the adjective, we use more. So the first one is modern. Two syllables, modern. But we don't say moderner or modernist. No. We say this place is more modern. Same with expensive. Expensive has more than two syllables. It has three. Expensive. But when we use syllables with two or more, we have to add the word more before the adjective. So expensive will become more expensive. You cannot say expensive-er. No, there's no such word. The jacket is expensive-er. No. It's more expensive. So just keep it in mind while we do our practice. But firstly, I want us to go back to the story in the beginning of the book. And it's on page 60. I want you guys to help me to show the adjectives and the comparative adjectives that we find. So I will help you find the first one, then I want you guys to help me find one. So let's start off again by quickly going through. So I'm JJ. I love animals. I have a lot of pets. This is my rabbit Suki. She's 7. For a rabbit, that's all. So here they just use a normal adjective. A normal adjective is old, explaining the age of the rabbit. So this is my dog Zip. Actually, he's only a puppy. He's bigger. Look here again. Look, here is a comparative adjective. He is bigger than Suki, meaning that he's bigger than the rabbit. Okay, so that's one. Let's try and find more. But he's younger, meaning Suki is older than him. So there's another one. Younger. The next one. And this is the oldest pet. Coco. Oldest, also a superlative adjective. We'll look at superlatives next week. He's 14 years old. So you can see in the way they talk, they are comparing differences between the animals. Okay. Are you guys still with me? Do you understand? Let's test it. Let's see. Okay, we looked at what is an adjective. We looked at different forms of adjectives. Now, we have an adjective tall. What would the comparative adjective be? Who can tell me? What is the comparative adjective of tall? Let's see who paid attention so far. Who was listening?
Taller.
Taller. Can you spell that for me, please, Jasmine?
T-A-L-L-E-R.
T-A-L-L-E-R. So here we only added an ER. So what is the rule? The rule is one syllable, add ER. One syllable, add ER. So tall is one syllable. How about careful? What would our comparative adjective be for careful? What do we think now? Who wants to take a guess? Anyone who wants to try? What is the comparative adjective of careful? Come on, guys, you need to try. If you don't try, I can't. I don't know if you understand or not.
I think carefuler.
Carefuler. Okay, let's write it down first. It's almost correct, not 100%. It's almost. Let's have a look at why. Carefuler. Why is this one not 100%? Because we have two syllables. We have care and full. And what is the rule when we have two or more syllables? Look at the one at the bottom here. When we have two or more syllables, we put a more before the adjective. The only one we don't do that is when it ends with a Y. Like hungry or noisy. We don't put a more. So for careful, the correct answer will be more careful. She's more careful than he is. We're more careful. Now the one over here, good. Good is an exception. What does an exception mean? It does not follow the rules. It has its own rule. And what is that?
I think gooder.
Gooder. Okay, well, listen carefully. It does not follow the rules. If something is good and you do how can I say? Okay, for good, I will help you because it is an exception. It's totally different. So it changes to a new word. Good becomes better. Good becomes better. I wonder, let me just see if I have the word bad here. Oh yeah, I have bad as well. So good becomes better. That's one of the exceptions. So I'm good in mathematics, but I'm better than my friend. If we compare, I'm good in mathematics, but my friend is better than me. Okay. What is the comparative adjective for noisy? Remember, 2 syllables, 1 and 2, but it ends with a Y. So what is our rule? What is the rule? It's rule number 2. What would the comparative adjective be for noisy?
noisy.
Noisier. Noisier. How do we spell that? You can tell me. How would we spell that? Noisier.
Noisier.
N-O-I-S-I-E-R.
Yeah.
Very important. The Y becomes an I. Okay. Noisier. My friend is noisier than me. Or my friend is too noisy. So let's have a look at the next couple of ones, just before we carry on with the book. Here we have the word dangerous. Now let's look at how many syllables dangerous has. Dangerous. So it has 1, 2, 3 syllables. So what would the comparative adjective of dangerous be? What do you think? What is the rule if we have 2 or more syllables in a word? What rule do we apply? Anyone? No, come, let's try our best. No matter if we make a mistake.
More dangerous.
Why? Why do you say more dangerous? Because teacher tell you to. Because that's the rule. We have to follow the rule. So that is an excellent answer. Thank you very much, Leon. That is more dangerous. Because it has more than 2 syllables. We use the word more in front of the adjective. Unless the word ends with a Y. If the word ends with a Y, we replace it with I-E-R. Okay. And then the next one is also an exception. It's also different. What do we think the comparative adjective for bad is? There's an exception.
I think worse.
Worse. Hey, very good answer. Thank you very much, Lantan. That's excellent. Bad becomes worse. Good becomes better. Bad becomes worse. Okay. Excellent, you guys. Very good. Thank you for participating. So the next one we're going to look at is on page 62. We are going to practice some of these words now, because the more we practice, the easier it becomes and the better we get at it. So the first one they say was small, and they say the answer is smaller than. The next one is bad. What is the comparative adjective for bad? Comparative adjective for bad again is come on. Starts with a W.
Spell or answer.
Answer.
Oh,
But it starts with a W, so I want the answer for it. We just looked at it. Tantan
Worse,
just gave
worse,
us the
worse,
answer.
worse.
Yes.
worse.
Excellent. Worse than. I'm worse than someone else. What about beautiful? What will our comparative adjective be there? Beautiful. Has 3 syllables.
More beautiful.
More beautiful. Excellent. More beautiful than. B-A-B-E-A-U. Beautiful. Okay, the next one is smart. Smart. 1 syllable. Smart. What would the comparative be there?
Smarter.
Smarter, by just adding a ER. Smart. Adding an ER at the end. Okay, I hope everyone is listening. We're not having too much to do before we finish off, so let's pay attention here for the last few minutes. The next one is funny. Funny has 2 syllables. Funny.
Funnier.
How do you spell that?
Funnier.
Funnier. Remember, if it ends with a Y, we have to take away the Y and add an I. Very important. Very good. Thank you very much, Leon. The next one is hot. Hot. Only 1 syllable. Hot.
Hotter.
How do you spell that?
Hotter.
Why do we have 2 T's? Do you know? Why have 2 T's?
I don't know.
Okay, let me show you. Let me tell you. Because this word starts with a consonant H, a vowel O, and a consonant T. So if a word starts with a consonant, vowel, consonant, we have to double the consonant at the end, which is a T. So we double the T to give us hotter. Hotter. If you have to break it apart. So that's why we add 2 T's to that one. Okay, the next one is good. What is the comparative adjective of good?
Better.
Good, better, the best. So I am better at mathematics than my friend, but I am worse in science. Okay. And the last one here is important. What do we think we comparative adjective? What is our comparative adjective for important?
More important.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't know, but follow the rule. Look at the word important and we break it apart into different syllables. Important. Yeah, important. 3 syllables. And the rules say if we have 2 or more syllables, we use the word more in front of our adjective. So that's why this one is more important. More important. Okay. I'm not going to do B right now because we will not have enough time to complete the whole B section. So I'm going to leave that for next week so we can practice some of these again. Because the only way we will get better at doing them is by practicing them. Okay. So next, just to recap, and just before we close off, I want to go through the rules again to make sure they get stuck in our minds and we don't forget them. Rule number 1, if a word has 1 syllable, we add ER. So if the adjective only has 1 syllable, like short, we add ER. But if the adjective is a consonant vowel consonant, we double the last consonant, like big becomes bigger with 2 G's. So these are not that easy to remember, but if we practice them enough, we will remember them automatically. The next one, if a word has 2 syllables and they end on a Y, like hungry, noisy, busy, lazy, crazy, all of those, we add a ER at the end, but the Y changes to an I. Remember, Y to I, ER. Y to I, ER. So the Y goes to an I, ER. Okay. And the last one again, if you have 2 or more syllables in a word, like modern or expensive or hospital. Oh, sorry, hospital is not an adjective, sorry. That's not an adjective. Dangerous. We have more than 2 syllables. Then we add more in front of the adjective. More modern, more expensive, more dangerous, more creative. Okay. So those are our rules about comparative adjectives. And that's all we're going to do today for our lesson. So please make sure we read those rules again over the weekend so we can remember them. But for today, we only have 1 class, and I really want you guys to have an opportunity to beat me in rock, paper, scissors. So let's see. I'll give you 5 seconds to be ready. Let's see who can beat me for the last time this week. Are you guys ready? You steady? Here we go. We know 1, 2, 3, shoot. Hey, Jasmine and Panatat. Hey, congratulations. Woo. The 2 of you beat the teacher. Well done, you guys. Thank you very much.
My first time.
Your first time. Very good, Panatat. Excellent. I'm so glad for you. But for the rest of you, we'll try again on Monday. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Take care of yourselves. And thank you all for joining. I will see you again on Monday. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.